All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are talking all about the ESFJ personality type, a group of people often called the caregiver. You know, if you've ever had someone in your life who just makes you feel totally seen, supported, and, well, cared for, you might just have an ESFJ in your corner.
And this quote, man, it really hits the nail on the head. This is the core of the ESFJ. Their whole world is built around this idea of giving to others. And honestly, their own sense of well-being is deeply, deeply tied to the happiness of the people they care about.
So, let's get a clearer picture of who the ESFJ really is. What makes them tick? What's going on behind that warm, friendly smile?
At their heart, ESFJs are true people persons. I mean, they have this almost magical ability to read a room, to understand where you're coming from, and then use that information to lift you up. They're like the ultimate hype man, always looking for ways to bring out the absolute best in everyone around them.
Now, check out how these traits work together. It's not just that they're warm and sympathetic, right? They're also super organized and dependable. This means they don't just feel for you, they show up with a plan and a helping hand. They see what needs to be done, and they just do it. But, and this is a big one, look at that last point. That needs approval from others? That's a really key piece of the puzzle we're going to come back to.
And that need for approval brings us right to this central tension within the ESFJ personality. You see, their biggest strengths are almost always tangled up with their biggest challenges. Let's take a look.
This chart shows it so perfectly. They're two sides of the exact same coin. Their deep desire to serve others can easily tip over into forgetting their own needs. Their incredible loyalty can make the end of a relationship feel absolutely devastating. And that natural warmth they give off? It's often fueled by a need to get that warmth back, which can make them really vulnerable if they don't get that positive feedback. It's a really delicate balancing act.
So this is the crucial part. What happens when that balance is totally thrown off? When an ESFJ's fundamental needs for appreciation and harmony just aren't being met, well, things can take a bit of a darker turn.
It's such an important question, right? Harmony is great. But what happens when that desire for a nice, orderly world becomes a rigid, unshakable demand?
Well, an ESFJ who feels insecure might try to regain control by managing their environment and the people in it. And because they're so good at reading feelings, they can become masters of manipulation, often using guilt as a tool to make sure their own needs for order and value are met.
And that sensitivity, which is usually such a superpower, can become their kryptonite. When they feel unappreciated, they can start seeing slights and attacks everywhere. A simple comment can feel like a personal insult, even when nothing of the sort was intended. This metaphor is just wow. It's so powerful. When their whole worldview feels threatened, an unbalanced ESFJ can basically build walls around themselves, and inside this castle, their feelings become cold, hard facts. Their logic, no matter how skewed it might seem from the outside, is absolute law. It's a defense mechanism, for sure, but it's an incredibly isolating one.
Okay, but here's the good news. It is not all doom and gloom. There's a very clear path forward for an ESFJ to find balance and to grow. And it really all comes down to developing their inner world and broadening their perspective.
So, the whole journey for the ESFJ is about taking a conscious step back from their immediate feelings. It's about learning that someone disagreeing with you isn't a personal attack. It's about looking past the surface level of things and really trying to grasp the objective facts of a situation totally separate from how they feel about it.
So that's the theory, but how do you put that into practice? Let's run through 10 solid rules for any ESFJ who wants to really thrive. Think of this as a quick and dirty toolkit. First up, embrace what you're good at. That gift for nurturing and caring for people, that's your superpower. Own it. Rule 2. You have to accept that different opinions are not a threat. They're not a rejection of you as a person.
This means putting in the work to understand that other people's perspectives and needs are just as real and valid as yours.
And to do that, you've got to fight that urge to make a snap judgment. Just pause. Let the whole situation unfold before you decide. And remember, what you see on the surface isn't always the full story. Always be on the lookout for what's going on underneath. Okay, this one is huge for caregivers. Let other people help you. When you let them contribute, it validates their role in your life and makes your connection stronger.
And on that note, let people in. Share your own needs. Talk about what you're trying to do. It turns them into partners, not just people you take care of.
Once you start doing that, you can push your own boundaries.
Try to step out of your comfort zone, even in a small way, every single day.
Always try to operate from a place of good faith. When you believe in the best in people, you'll be amazed at how often they rise to the occasion.
And finally, please remember this. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's one of the most profound strengths a person can have.
And that really brings us to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? The ultimate journey for the ESFJ. Their gift is making other people happy. Their growth comes from learning to find that happiness within themselves first. It's a huge shift from being a caregiver out of need to being one out of choice. Thanks for joining this explainer.